Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, it's 𝗙𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗃. Thank you for coming. Well, in today's video, this is something that is so much in our community as Africans, or let's say as Black people. But before I get into my own opinions, let's first watch these clips and then let's talk about it.
People rarely speak about black tax and how it impacts generational wealth. Black tax refers to the income that you send to your family every month to support them. And this oftentimes prevents us from saving, prevents us from building generational wealth. I know many Black people, including myself, who are making good money, but because we're the first person to make it in our family, we're still living paycheck to paycheck because every month we're paying our bills, but then we also have to pay our family's bills. And our money isn't totally our money. My money is, my mom's light bill money, my mom's grocery money, my family's, school, my sisters and brothers' tuition money. And so instead of saving and investing and building wealth, all that money is going out and going back into my family. So I'm not able to build generational wealth for myself. And this is not me complaining, because I love my family and I'm glad that I'm in a position to support and to help. However, this is an inescapable financial burden, a cultural obligation that I didn't sign up for. And because I'm the firstborn, then I'm responsible and I can't really truly enjoy and, really build up on the sacrifices that I've made to get myself to where I am today. Yeah, black tax.
Unfortunately, this is just one of the ways that Black people oppress Black people. You know, when the Bible says that you shouldn't anger your children, I feel like a lot of these African parents don't realize that. They don't hear that part of the scripture, but they hear the part that says, obey your mother and father. But they never ever read the part that says you should not anger your children, because the reality is even God will understand when they make the decision to leave you, or when they make that choice not to want to take care of you in your old age. They are also human beings. They have their minds as well. Just the way you guys preach on with your toxic Christianity about, oh, we have the mind of Christ. They should obey us. These children should submit. Oh, they should give to the church. They should do this. They should do that. That's the same way that you have been given that responsibility by God to take care of them. If that child's destiny goes left, as a parent, God will still come back and ask you that, what did you do? Because before you decided to settle down, get married, all of that, you must have known that you marrying is actually an institution that is recognized by God. By God then giving you a child, that should have taught you that God is giving you a mission, another job. Having kids, marrying and all of that, it's not willy-nilly, it's a spiritual job. It's a job, it's an assignment. And it's so sad to see people collapsing on social media. I just watched a video on TikTok about a woman who checked her paycheck and she literally opened it and she collapsed because she realized that she's working for nothing. She can barely live. She can barely afford her rent. Yeah, her family members, they have rent. They have a house. They have food. They have good shoes. They have good clothing. But this woman has nothing. And it also reminds me of those people that come to the UK. They will work in like care homes and everything for like £5-6 an hour. And whoever hired them is skimming off the rest of the money that they're making just for their family members to call them and say, oh my kiniko needs shoes. Oh, someone's son is in the hospital. Oh, someone needs their school fees paid. Have mercy on this person. Have mercy on this person. And it's about time that the Black community start to realize that wherever you find yourself, work hard. Stop saying, oh, this person is in this country or this person lives in this house and they're not helping me, therefore they're not a good person. They are also struggling. It's bad enough that the world doesn't rate us, doesn't put us in the best positions, but then we ourselves stop doing it. Stop doing it to one another. A lot of these people are barely making 18k a year. If that, 25. They pay tax. They pay rent, they pay for their food, they pay for your children's school fees wherever they are in the world. You ask them for money out of nowhere. Oh, can you give me your uncle this? You should be able to give your sister this. And then you'll now turn around and then also preach to them about giving 10% to church. Have mercy.
Some people have experienced depression because of black tax. Yes, I know a friend who has been severely depressed and has collapsed at work because of it. when you think that you are working so hard, but you yourself, you have nothing to show for it. You see, then you'll find that we are a group of people, maybe we are aged 22, we're working the same job, somebody has a car, some have an apartment, you have nothing to show for it. But you are at work every day from 8 till 5. But yeah, that's when they ask you, what are you doing with your money?
First of all, I want to really thank everybody that is supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much, guys. If you are new here, thank you and welcome to the family. Well, as you've seen in the videos, like if you are an African or a black person, I'm pretty much sure you know what it is about, and it's the black taxi. Personally, as an African, I really didn't really understand what it was about, because I grew up in a place where in our family, let's say, settings, you would see people who mostly had money or people who mostly traveled were kind of the bread givers at some point in the families that we were coming from. Not specifically where I grew up from, it was different, but every time I looked into the other places, it was different. And I remember one time we had some neighbors where I was living, and these people would stay in the house. They were not working. There was the, Africans, we have extended families. They would stay in the house. There was the two aunties, there was the kids of the aunties, then there was some kids from, let's say, relatives in the same house. There was the grandmother, and there was also a brother, I think. And I remember they had someone who was abroad, but everything they mostly had in the house was paid for by the person who was abroad, and I think that person was living in the United States. And to me, I thought it was a normal thing, but at some time I would ask myself, like, these people stay in the house the whole day, they would watch TV from morning till night, like literally, and they had a maid. It would shock me, but then I thought maybe that's how it's supposed to be, and that's the problem. Where I am today, I am starting to realize that this person was literally spending and giving their last coin to the family people who are relaxed, living home the whole entire time, not putting in the effort to even help themselves. And this person was literally paying almost school fees for the children in the house. Like, imagine one person was caring for like 7 people in a house, and they were not putting in the effort to even go and work and also help the situation. That's where I have a problem. I do believe we as Africans, especially we as black people, we've not had a chance to, let's say, have generational wealth for the longest time, okay, for the majority of the time. And when you look into these things where there's black tax involved, it is limiting a lot of people. Me personally too. I reach some points where I'm like, I'm not supposed to care for everybody. Like, it's not my obligation to care for everybody in the family. It is okay to help where it's necessary. It's okay to help where you are able to. But we are from a society as Africans where, let's say in my country, Uganda, if you elevate a bit as a person from the family, everybody expects you to give them help, which wouldn't be a bad thing. But if it becomes excessive and then you get relaxed, like, there are some stories where I had people who were helping their family people from abroad, and these people kept on producing and having new kids and not even putting in the initiative to look for jobs. Like the same story I've given growing up, seeing these people, our neighbors, how they were reacting and watching TV the whole day. That is exhausting. So it's really something we as Africans, we as Ugandans, we as black people need to have conversations about. We are not going to be able to grow as a group of people, as people, if we are growing and then these responsibilities that we are not even obligated to have are put on the table for us to cater for. That's a problem. Let's say from my country, Uganda, a lot of Ugandans leave Uganda to go, let's say, to the United Emirates in Asia, or to go abroad to look for greener pastures, And majority of the times when these people come back into Uganda, they literally have nothing. And it's so frustrating that the same people they were helping are the same people that are gonna ask them, why don't you have this? You came back with nothing. And they forget, like, you've been helping them, helping their kids, sending them money. Like, they forget all those things you've been doing for them. A lot of the times, really majority of Ugandans are scared to come back to Uganda because they have nothing. They've been spending all the times they've had working every single day and sending help to people who are not putting in effort, being lazy. Help where it's necessary, but when it becomes too much, when it's at a point of putting you on a wall, that's unacceptable. We as Black people need to have boundaries. We need to set boundaries. Also, when it comes to our parents, there's this thing where our parents make us feel like, you know what, I brought you to life, I fed you, I gave you this. When I'm old, you're supposed to do these things for me. Like, the moment you decide to be with somebody and have this child, or have me as a child, I'm pretty much sure you're supposed to care for me as a child. You're supposed to give me these things as a child that you chose to have as a parent. So when it comes to a point where I, as a child, when I grow, it is my responsibility, my mom is my responsibility, my family is my responsibility, and then you look into your family where you're the one who is trying to elevate, there's no space for you to grow as a person, you're also trying to grow. It becomes really frustrating at some point, and I'm sorry, but sometimes personally I became selfish. I would say I'm kind of selfish at some point, because I'm not going to give help where I feel I'm pushing myself on the wall and there's nobody that is going to come out and help me.
Black tax guys are crying out there, and they're telling me every month they spend about 200,000 sending it to their parents every month. And I asked myself, so what, break it down for me, do you know what they use it for? And they're like, this is fundraising, they are paying debts, they are planting, a product did not do well, to a point whereby even the parents are fighting over this money, the two parents, both the dad and the mom. And sometimes I want to say this, the problem is not them. We never taught them the culture of ownership. We've taught them entitlement. And that is why it didn't start with 200,000. It just started with, please send us 5,000. And because they know you have the money and you've shown them, and because we're also becoming emotional that we don't want to be cast, we don't want to be left out, because that is what defines us, now we continue paying. And it's not gonna stop. If anything, the day you dare stop, you become their enemy. Just ask yourself a very simple question. Is it sustainable? Does it have a time frame? Does it have a limit? Because by the time I am going to spend something, money I don't have because you will pay, honestly, that's a sign of disrespect. So yes, support your parents, have limits. If you don't teach a sense of ownership, go down there, tell them this is their last amount, I'm investing here, let's do agribusiness, let's do this kind of thing. Tell me what I can invest in, or you start the projects that you understand, get them a market, and all you'll be doing is them selling their products directly. But this is not sustainable.
That's where we as Africans, we as Black people need to understand that you need to have a boundary to know that if I elevate myself and if I can afford to help these people, I can, but also as a person, I need to grow, I need to work on myself. And it also goes in a situation where if I get married, my husband is supposed to care for my family as an African woman, yes, but then you are two people trying to create a life for yourself. Let's say you have a child, you have your nuclear family as a family, but then the family of the woman expects the man to also care for them. Also the man and his family expect him to care for them as well. So it becomes like I'm sorry to say, but it's like we are still in a slavery state in our community, and then we are also kind of in a slavery state when it comes to the institutions where you have to pay for other taxes, you have to provide for yourself, things are expensive, and then like it's hard, guys. So guys, tell me what you think. Do you think black tax is something that we should keep on having or doing, and is it a positive thing to us as a people? Yes. And also, don't stop helping your people, but is it really necessary that you're obligated to help everybody through the black tax situation? Oh yeah, I would like to know your opinions. Again, thanks to everybody supporting the channel, guys. It's really amazing. Thank you, guys, and I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. In case of anything, in case of any questions, the links are in the bio. That is it for today. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, bye.